Welcome to the Online Digital Marketing Podcast. We'll be discussing marketing strategies, trends, and tips that will help your business succeed in the digital age. Every episode, we'll be interviewing industry professionals and providing valuable insights on how to leverage digital tools for maximum engagement and ROI. Don't forget to subscribe so you can stay up to date on the latest trends in online marketing.
You know that feeling.
Oh, I think everyone in this space knows exactly what feeling you're talking about.
Yeah, it's late in the quarter, or maybe just a quiet Tuesday afternoon.
Staring at the screen.
Exactly. You open up your CRM, you look at your forecast, and there is just a void.
Right. Just a complete ghost town.
A thin, anemic list of, maybe deals and just pure wishful thinking.
Yeah, that quiet, sinking panic that starts right in your stomach.
It's the worst. When you realize your pipeline is basically non-existent.
It really is.
Well, welcome to the Deep Dive. We are thrilled you're here with us today.
Really glad to have you here.
Our mission today is to explore a stack of notes and summaries based on Jeb Blount's Fanatical prospecting.
Such a core text.
It really is. And the goal is to uncover the ultimate playbook for never, ever having an empty pipeline again.
Which is a bold promise, but the material backs it up.
Yeah, but to get there, we have to start with this somewhat uncomfortable truth that really frames everything we're going to talk about today.
A hard reality check.
Right. And the truth is, the number one reason professionals fail to hit their revenue targets, it isn't a lack of closing skill.
People always think it's a close.
Always. They think it's because they stumble during a product demo or, that they don't know how to handle a pricing objection at the very end.
But that's not it.
No. The root cause of failure is almost always an empty pipeline.
Yeah.
And that empty pipeline is caused by one thing, which is inconsistent prospecting.
It all comes back to the top of the funnel.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because in a business culture that is currently completely obsessed with, growth hacks and automated email sequences.
Love the endless funnels.
Right. And finding the easiest, most frictionless way to generate inbound leads.
Which we all want, obviously.
Sure, but this material is a refreshingly brutal return to the fundamentals.
It really forces you to look in the mirror.
We are talking about high volume, disciplined, roll-up-your-sleeves outreach.
Because we spend, an incredible amount of energy focusing on the bottom of the funnel.
Too much energy, honestly.
Yeah, we obsess over negotiation tactics, closing strategies, contract red lines.
And none of that matters if the top of the funnel is totally empty.
Exactly. Prospecting is the absolute lifeline of revenue generation.
Without it, you're dead in the water.
You really are. And the crucial mindset shift here is moving away from the idea that outreach is just some temporary campaign.
Right, like a blitz you run once a quarter.
Yeah, it's not something you only do when you feel motivated or when things get slow.
Or when your manager is breathing down your neck.
Right. Exactly. It has to be treated as a permanent rhythm, a daily, non-negotiable professional activity.
So before we even touch the mechanics of building that pipeline, the math, the channels, the schedules we have to establish who is actually capable of executing this playbook.
Right, the psychology behind it.
Because there's a very specific mental framework required to survive this kind of daily grind.
It's not for the faint of heart.
No, it's really not. It's easy to just list off a bunch of motivational buzzwords, but the reality of outbound work demands something much deeper.
Like the 7 mindsets they talk about in the sources.
Yeah, exactly. We're talking about traits like relentless competitiveness and adaptability.
Which are great, sure.
But the one that truly anchors the whole system, the one that stands out the most, is optimism.
What's fascinating here is how optimism functions practically in this environment.
How so? Because usually optimism just sounds like, being happy.
Right, but we aren't talking about toxic positivity or just being in a naturally cheerful mood all the time.
Good, because nobody is cheerful cold calling at 8 a.m.
Exactly. In outbound sales, optimism is a functional, necessary mechanism for survival.
A survival mechanism. I like that.
Think about the daily reality of the job. You are going to face rejection.
A lot of it.
A staggering amount of it. And biologically, human beings are wired to interpret social rejection as actual physical pain.
Wait, really? Physical pain?
Yes. Our brains literally want us to stop doing the thing that is causing the rejection. It's a defense mechanism.
Oh, wow. So you're actually fighting your own biology.
You are. And functional optimism is the mental override that allows you to navigate that inherent friction without internalizing it.
So it's not personal.
Right. It transforms prospecting from this dreadful, ego-bruising chore into just a detached professional discipline.
It's an emotional shield, basically.
It is the only thing that keeps you picking up the phone or sending that next email after someone just aggressively hung up on you.
Yeah, that functional optimism feeds directly into what the sources call the CEO mindset, which I think is just a brilliant way to frame this.
Yeah, it really shifts the perspective.
It does. Think of it like being an entrepreneur of your own desk.
I love that analogy.
Right. You aren't just an employee sitting around waiting for the marketing department to hand you a shiny, perfectly qualified lead on a silver platter.
Because that's never going to happen.
Never. You own the factory. You are the CEO of your own territory.
Taking extreme ownership.
Exactly. You take full personal responsibility for your results.
No finger pointing.
None. You don't blame external factors. You don't complain about the algorithm.
Or blame lead quality, which is everyone's favorite excuse.
Oh, totally. You just go to work and manufacture your own opportunities.
And operating with that CEO mindset changes your entire relationship with failure.
How does that play out in practice?
Well, when you view yourself as the owner of your territory, a bad quarter isn't something that happened to you.
Right, like it's not a storm that just rolled in.
Exactly. It's not because of a bad marketing campaign. It's a result of your own operational breakdown.
You didn't do the inputs.
Right. That level of extreme ownership drives a totally different standard of relentlessness.
It forces you to be accountable.
And it also drives confidence, which in this context isn't about having a booming voice or extreme extroversion.
Thank goodness, because I'm not naturally that guy.
A lot of top performers aren't. True confidence comes from something very concrete, knowing your data.
Ah, the math.
Yes. When you know your historical conversion rates, you stop guessing.
It takes the emotion out of it.
It completely does. You operate with the cold, calm self-assurance of a business owner executing a proven formula.
So the mindset keeps you in the chair.
Right.
But the engine of this whole operation runs on predictable math and intensely disciplined time management.
The fun stuff.
Yeah. Let's break down the rules of consistency, starting with the 30-day rule.
The 30-day rule is essentially the universal law of cause and effect applied to revenue.
Okay, break that down for me.
Well, it accounts for a critical lag effect. What you do today, the calls you make, the emails you send.
The doors you knock on.
Exactly. None of that usually results in a closed deal tomorrow.
Complex deals take time to mature.
They do. The outcomes of today's activity will only show up in your results 30 to 90 days down the line.
So it's delayed gratification.
Completely. What you do on a random rainy Tuesday in October is what actually pays your commission in January.
Wow. Which pairs up seamlessly with the law of replacement.
Another crucial law.
Yeah, this is the idea that you have to continuously backfill your pipeline with new opportunities.
Because deals are constantly falling out.
Right. They close, they get lost to a competitor, or they just, stall out entirely.
And if you aren't replacing them daily, you fall into the dreaded feast or famine cycle.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Let's look at the reality of a busy professional.
Okay, let's hear it.
Realistically, if I have a massive $1 million deal closing at 5 p.m. on a Friday.
A great feeling.
It is. But you can't honestly expect me to spend my afternoon making cold calls instead of reviewing the final contract red lines, right?
It's tempting to think that way.
I mean, shouldn't I pause my prospecting for a few days to focus entirely on securing the revenue that is right in front of me?
That tension right there is the most common temptation in the business.
It feels justified, though.
It feels very justified, but succumbing to it is exactly what causes the feast or famine cycle.
Wait, really? Just pausing for a couple of days?
Yes. If you completely halt your prospecting today because you are busy closing, you are effectively turning off your future revenue pipeline.
Oh, wow.
You are creating a massive invisible revenue hole that you won't even notice for another 30 to 90 days.
Because of that 30-day rule we just talked about.
Exactly. So yes, you close that $1 million deal on Friday and you celebrate.
As you should.
Sure. But when the dust settles, you will wake up a month from now, look at your forecast, and experience that exact quiet panic we mentioned earlier.
The empty screen.
You have to carve out time for future pipeline, even on the days you are closing.
Because if you don't, the pipeline is totally empty again and you are starting from zero.
And the feast turns immediately into a famine.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
That dynamic is why daily activity targets should be viewed as an insurance policy.
An insurance policy against slumps.
Exactly. Adhering strictly to the law of replacement ensures your pipeline never becomes critically anemic.
But to buy that insurance policy, you have to know what the premiums are, right? You have to reverse engineer your math.
You have to track everything.
Right, the initial attempts, which lead to actual conversations.
Which lead to scheduled meetings.
Which lead to formal proposals, and then finally, wins.
Let's do the math on that to make it concrete. Let's say your goal is to get one closed deal this week.
Okay, one deal.
If you know your historical win rate dictates, you need to submit 5 proposals to get one signature.
Then I know I need 5 proposals at the door.
Right. And if your data shows that it takes 2 initial meetings to generate one viable proposal.
That means I need to book 10 meetings.
Exactly.
And if it takes 5 live conversations to successfully book one of those meetings, I need 50 conversations.
You see how this builds?
Yeah. And finally, if it takes 10 attempts, dials, emails, messages, to get one person to actually talk to me, I need 500 attempts.
Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly, your daily activity target isn't some arbitrary number pulled out of thin air by a manager.
No, it's just pure math. I know exactly how many touches I need to execute every single day to hit my quota.
It demystifies the anxiety. It turns a massive, intimidating revenue goal into just a manageable daily checklist.
But executing that checklist brings us to the great equalizer, which is time.
Time management is everything here.
To hit those daily targets, you have to employ ruthless time management. And this is where the concept of golden hours comes in.
Highly protected blocks of time.
Yeah, these are blocks on your calendar dedicated exclusively to outbound activity.
During a golden hour, there is no administrative work.
None. No inbox triage, no chatting with coworkers in the break room.
And definitely no endless scrolling on LinkedIn under the guise of research.
Oh, the fake research. That's a trap. A golden hour is just pure, uninterrupted execution of the math.
Okay, so we have the mindset to survive the rejection. And we have the math to know our daily targets.
Now we have to figure out how to actually execute those golden hours so we aren't just shouting into the void.
Because relying on a single channel to hit those numbers is a massive strategic trap.
It's like putting all your chips on one number at the roulette table.
It is a trap because your buyers are distributed across multiple platforms, and they all have entirely different communication preferences.
Makes sense. Some people love email, some people delete them all.
Exactly. A modern outreach strategy requires a balanced prospecting methodology.
So what does that look like in practice?
You have to architect a multi-channel engine. Use the phone, email, social media, text messaging.
And even in-person visits or referrals, right?
When appropriate, yes. Every single channel serves a highly specific purpose, and they are designed to support and amplify one another.
Okay, I have to push back on this a little bit, especially regarding the phone.
Let's hear it.
In today's hyper-digital age, with all this intent data, automated email sequences, and, sophisticated LinkedIn networking, isn't cold calling basically dead?
People ask this all the time.
Right. Do decision makers actually answer their phones anymore?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, abandoning the phone is the fastest way to lose a competitive edge.
Really? Even now?
Cold calling is absolutely not dead. It remains one of the only direct, immediate ways to command attention and interrupt a prospect's day.
Interrupting is hard, though.
It is. The problem is that most people use the phone in isolation.
Just dialing lists.
Yeah. Its true power only unlocks when it is paired strategically with other channels to build what is known as the law of familiarity.
The law of familiarity, right? The basic psychological premise that human beings are significantly more likely to engage with someone they recognize rather than a total stranger.
Precisely the underlying psychology.
It's just human nature.
If you only ever call someone out of the blue, you are always an interruption from a stranger.
And people hate strangers interrupting them.
The biological response to a stranger interrupting your day is defensiveness.
So how do you bypass that?
Well, consider a different sequence. First, you view their LinkedIn profile.
Okay, so they get a notification.
Right. A few days later, you share or comment on a piece of content they posted.
Now they've seen your name twice.
Exactly. Then you send a very brief, low-friction email aiming for a tiny micro-commitment.
Like what? Just asking a quick question?
Yeah, maybe just asking if they are the correct person to speak with regarding a specific challenge.
Got it.
Then a few days after that, you call them.
Oh, I see. You are no longer a completely cold, anonymous caller.
They recognize your name. You have lowered their defensive barrier before they even pick up the phone.
You're surrounding them with value and recognition.
Yes, but you have to respect the specific rules of engagement for each channel.
Right. The phone is for short, outcome-focused conversations.
It's about booking the meeting, not closing the deal on the first call.
An email is not the place to pitch your entire product catalog.
Nobody reads long emails anyway.
Seriously. It needs to be brief, highly relevant, and end with a simple ask.
Then there's social media, which is a prospecting amplifier.
You use it to build a professional brand, right? And monitor for trigger events.
Yeah, like a company merger or a new executive hire.
But you cannot hide behind likes and comments. Social media is meant to warm up the direct conversation, not replace it.
And then there is text messaging, which is really fascinating.
Texting feels risky. It's so personal.
It is an incredibly intimate channel. It's high velocity, but you only use it when you already have established a relationship.
Or if they explicitly gave you permission, right?
Exactly. You use it to nudge a stalled deal forward or confirm a lunch meeting.
You definitely don't use it to send a cold pitch.
That's a quick way to get blocked. And finally, we absolutely must prioritize warm channels like in-person networking and referrals.
Because referrals are basically a shortcut.
They are. When someone gives you a referral, they are temporarily transferring their hard-earned trust to you.
So those opportunities demand immediate top priority follow-up.
When you synthesize all of these channels, the social touches, the emails, the calls, you start generating a massive amount of outbound activity.
Which introduces a completely new logistical problem.
The prioritization issue.
Yeah, because if you are generating hundreds of touches across all these different channels, how do you decide who actually gets your finite attention?
You can't just blast the entire universe with equal effort.
No, your golden hours are a limited resource.
Prioritization is where many people fail. And it's where you need a strategic framework like the prospecting pyramid.
Okay, let's talk about the pyramid.
You rank your prospects based on their ultimate quality and their proximity to an active buying window.
So visualize a pyramid. At the very top, the absolute peak, you have your highly qualified prospects.
The hottest leads.
Right. These are the organizations or individuals who are in an active buying window right now.
This includes your hot inbound inquiries, direct referrals.
And prospects who have demonstrated clear intent. This top tier is where you spend your active, highly protected golden hours.
Because they are closest to making a decision, you focus your aggressive multi-channel outreach here.
But you cannot neglect the base of the pyramid.
No, the base is massive. It's made up of raw, unqualified names and colder long-term opportunities.
You definitely don't spend your prime, high-energy calling blocks grinding through the base.
That'd be a waste of prime time.
Right. Instead, you implement a consistent, automated cadence of lighter touches.
Educational emails, social engagement, monthly newsletters.
The objective is to nurture them. You stay in their orbit.
So that when their circumstances change and they enter a buying window, they naturally move up the pyramid.
And you are the first person they think of.
Exactly.
And the mechanism that dictates who is at the top of the pyramid and who is at the bottom is the CRM.
The single source of truth.
The CRM is the absolute center of gravity for anyone serious about building a pipeline.
It really is.
I like to think of a CRM not just as a database, but as a brain's external hard drive.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
Right.
Yeah.
If your brain's external hard drive is functioning perfectly, it organizes exactly who needs immediate attention right now.
The hot prospects at the top.
Yeah, and who needs to be stored away in a holding pattern for nurturing.
But if the drive is corrupted,
If your data is a mess, the whole system crashes. You end up wasting your golden hours dialing random numbers.
or calling people who already told you no 6 months ago,
Worse.
that external hard drive analogy captures it perfectly. A functional CRM allows you to segment your lists.
And powerful, highly segmented lists generate powerful results.
If you sit down for a dedicated 1-hour call block and you have a clean, hyper-targeted list of 50 prospects who all share a similar pain point,
You are going to be infinitely more efficient.
compared to someone who is just randomly scrolling through LinkedIn trying to figure out who to call next,
The CRM just removes the cognitive load of deciding what to do.
it does. So let's review. We have the functional optimism to handle rejection.
We have the reverse engineered math and the golden hours.
We have a multi-channel strategy to build familiarity.
We have the prospecting pyramid to prioritize our time.
And that brain's external hard drive, CRM, to organize the chaos.
We know exactly what to do, so what does this all mean?
That's the real issue.
With all of this structure, why is it still so painfully hard for incredibly smart professionals to actually sit down and execute this on a daily basis?
What is the invisible force stopping us?
Yeah, what is holding people back?
The breakdown happens because possessing a perfect mathematical system does not erase fundamental human psychology.
We are still human at the end of the day.
We are. And the internal barriers that hold professionals back generally fall into 3 categories: procrastination, perfectionism, and paralysis from overthinking.
The 3 Ps.
And they all stem from the exact same root cause.
Perfectionism is the sneakiest of the 3. I see it happen constantly.
Everywhere.
Perfectionism is usually just procrastination wearing a very expensive suit.
That is so true.
It is. It's the professional who spends 3 solid hours meticulously researching a single prospect.
Reading their last 15 articles.
Right. They study the company's 5-year financial roadmap. They craft a beautifully bespoke literary masterpiece of an email.
All just to avoid the momentary biological discomfort of picking up the phone.
And risking a rejection.
This raises an important question. Why do we construct these elaborate avoidance behaviors?
Why do we do it?
We do it to avoid friction. We over-research and overthink to protect our egos.
Back to the ego.
But we have to remember a critical truth about human behavior and commerce. Buyers make decisions emotionally first.
And then they justify those decisions with logic later.
Exactly. People want to feel understood. They want to connect.
And those internal barriers, the perfectionism, the paralysis, they prevent us from initiating the honest, vulnerable human conversations where that emotional connection actually happens.
You have to push through that internal friction.
You have to reframe the external friction.
You have to realize that your resilience and the sheer volume of your outreach matter significantly more than any single isolated response from a prospect.
A hard no on a Tuesday morning isn't a permanent rejection of your value as a human being.
The vast majority of no's are simply a not right now.
They are a prospect signaling, hey, I am not at the top of your pyramid today.
That just means they go into the holding pattern.
They stay in the CRM, you keep building familiarity, and you move on to the next dial.
It requires maintaining emotional control. You don't let one rude prospect derail your entire golden hour.
Which brings us to a huge point about today's market.
Right. In a modern business landscape where every single one of your competitors has access to the exact same automated tools.
The same intent data, the same email templates.
Human resilience is your ultimate differentiator.
Software can send 1,000 emails in a second, sure.
But software cannot replace the discipline, the nuance, and the emotional intelligence required to maintain a multi-channel relationship over time.
Which brings us to the core takeaway for you, the listener.
The big summary.
Avoiding an empty pipeline isn't about running a frantic 2-week blitz when you're desperate for revenue.
It is a permanent rhythm.
It is a professional way of life.
When you fully internalize the CEO mindset, when you respect the unavoidable math of the 30-day rule,
and when you ruthlessly protect your time to execute across multiple channels, that is when you take total control.
you stop being a victim of the market.
Exactly. You start controlling your pipeline, your income, and your career.
And I want to leave you with a final, broader thought to explore on your own.
I love this part.
What happens if you take these concepts, specifically the law of replacement and the 30-day rule, and apply them outside of just sales or revenue generation?
Outside of sales.
Yeah. Think about your general career trajectory or your personal networking.
Oh, that's interesting.
If the professional opportunities, the job offers, or the strategic partnerships you enjoy today are a direct, delayed result of the networking conversations you initiated 90 days ago.
Then what new conversations do you need to start today to ensure your future isn't empty?
Wow, that completely changes the perspective.
It really applies to everything.
It does. So
Yeah.
the next time you open up your screen and look at whatever your version of a forecast is, you don't have to feel that quiet panic in your stomach.
You have the playbook. You know the math. You just have to pick up the phone and start filling the void.
Get to work.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We will catch you on the next one.
Ready to take your online business to the next level? Subscribe to our digital marketing podcast and then join our Accountability for Success Mastermind. With expert advice from industry leaders, you'll gain knowledge and insights that will help you succeed in today's digital marketing world. From social media strategies to search engine optimization, we have all the tools you need. Learn from successful entrepreneurs and take control of your online success. Join the Accountability for Success Mastermind now at bit.ly/AFSM podcast.